Spoilers for The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. I think that in The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog created something that's so charged and so challenging that it's going to be discussed and debated ad nauseum for years. A story that's visceral is one that makes you feel. I think how visceral Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most important parts of the game's effectiveness, and it contributes, in my opinion, to a breathtaking evolution in the field of experiential storytelling. Neil Druckmann and the entire team over at Naughty Dog have crafted an experience where you feel everything. It all holds weight. But before I get into specific moments from the second game, we have to go back to where it all began.
Now, Ellie, that ain't for kids.
Whoa! How the hell would he even walk around with that thing?
Get rid of that.
Hold your horses. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
In the first game, violence is a means to an end, always portrayed as defensive in a way. Obviously, there's zombies, lacking in personality and causing you no guilt when you slash, bash, and shoot your way through hordes of runners, clickers, and bloaters. But even the human beings you must get through are often portrayed as lacking in humanity. They're hunters, trying to get you to stop your truck so they can rob and murder you. They're trespassers, infiltrating Tommy's base in Jackson. This serves as a contrast, both to Joel, who has been to those depths of soullessness, only emerging after building his relationship with Ellie, and to the final sequence in the game, in which you are, as Joel, the aggressor of the violence. You're not defending yourself anymore. You're attacking, to stop the Fireflies from using Ellie to make a vaccine. This serves to recontextualize the entire journey you've been on.
Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you. Oh, shit.
The Last of Us Part 2 takes a bit of a different approach. Now that you've played the first game, you already look at the world of The Last of Us differently than when you were at the outset of your journey. Now you know the impacts of violence and what this environment turns people into. The humans have names now, specific dialogue, pleas for mercy. If you tilt the camera right, you can see pure fear in their eyes. It's not just fear of Ellie, it's fear of you, the player, the one in control. Maybe if there was no galvanizing event in the game, this would turn players off to The Last of Us Part 2. But there's a moment in the story that breaks both Ellie and the player. It comes early on. The murder of Joel Miller. You push through on your quest for vengeance because they killed Joel. They did it. Abby did it. They all deserve what's coming their way. We're going to find, and we're going to kill, every last one of them. Ellie is losing her humanity, bit by bit, throughout her entire crusade through Seattle. She lashes out at Dina. She pushes Jesse away. What Ellie doesn't realize is that she's headed down a path where all that waits for her is her worst nightmare. Ellie, brave as she is, has one fear that stands above all others. We know this because she tells Sam in the first game. She's most scared of being by herself. She's scared of ending up alone. Rage and vengeance has consumed Ellie. She can't see her friends' attempts to help her, to comfort her. All she sees is red. So when she confronts Nora, that's all the player sees. Ellie, bathed in red lighting, lifts a metal pipe above her head, ready to swing. But she doesn't. You do. You press the square button, again and again and again, until Nora is nothing but a bloody pile left behind in an abandoned hospital. It's harrowing, and you feel all of it. Every single press of the button. It's visceral. You have to do it, because if you just watched it, you could turn away. You wouldn't connect properly to the story. And then, about midway through the game, it makes you do the unthinkable.
Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No!
It makes you play as Abby, the one who killed Joel. Once again, it's something that the game has to make you do, so you can understand, so you can empathize. You go through Seattle, tracing Ellie's journey, always one step behind. You see the carnage she's left in her wake. You're always a moment too late to save your friends. And then you finally catch up with Ellie in the theater and play through a level that mirrors the first game's encounter with David in the restaurant. Only it's twisted, because this time you're not being hunted by a creepy cannibal. You're being hunted by Ellie. Once again, you feel everything. You don't want to do it, but you have to, and it hurts, because it's supposed to. Abby has her knife at Dina's throat. It's all about to end. Until it doesn't. Because Lev stops her. Abby spares Dina and Ellie's lives thanks to Lev. He's now her Ellie, and she's now his Joel. Ellie gave Joel the ultimate gift, the restoration of his humanity, allowing him to reclaim his soul. Lev did the same for Abby. It's sincere. It's conflicting. It's visceral. After that, the game feels like it might just end. Ellie and Dina end up at a farmhouse. They're raising livestock, living together, and even raising a child, baby JJ. Everything seems perfect. Until it isn't. Flashbacks, panic attacks, sleepless nights. A visit from Tommy, Joel's brother, seals the deal. I'll make her pay.
Tommy.
That's what you said when we got back to Jackson.
Tommy.
Ellie seeks Abby out, assuming the role of hunter once more. She finds Abby in an unexpected place, strung up alongside Lev, seemingly crucified by a gang called the Rattlers. Both Abby and Lev are clinging on for dear life, but that doesn't matter. Ellie didn't come all this way for nothing. She cuts Abby down, and they walk towards two boats. Abby wants no part in the fight that's about to happen. Neither do you, the player, having spent time empathizing with Abby during your time playing as her. But what you want doesn't matter. You have to do it. And once again, you feel every single punch. You guessed it. It's visceral storytelling. Ellie overpowers Abby and pushes her head under the water. Just like when Abby had the knife to Dina's neck, it's all about to be over. But once again, it isn't. Joel appears as a memory in Ellie's head. Her mind flashes back to their last night together, to reconciliation, to the beginnings of forgiveness. She lets Abby go. She breaks the cycle of violence, one that likely would have continued with Lev seeking out Ellie. All because of Joel. The endings of both games rhyme with one another. In the first game, Joel physically saves Ellie. But in the second game, he does for her what she did for him, what Lev is doing for Abby. Joel saves Ellie's humanity. I've never had an experience with a piece of media quite like the one I did playing The Last of Us Part 2. It's a game where every storyteller working on it, from Neil Druckmann to Ashley Johnston and Laura Bailey to Troy Baker to everyone on the development team, are in complete control of their craft. You don't have any say in the matter. The Last of Us Part 2 is going to make you feel what it wants you to feel. It's a difficult game to play through, but one I keep coming back to. The pain feels worth it, in a way, because the story is so rewarding. I feel so deeply connected to Joel and Ellie, and now with Abby and Lev, and I can't wait to see what Naughty Dog has in store for this franchise in the future.